Hey everybody, the Nightwolf DJ here, and I'm doing Five Nights at Freddy's Friend Till the End Part 2, but I'm gonna be a few minutes till I start, so take your time joining the stream, and I will be there in a minute. Hello. Don't worry, I'm not ready to start yet, so just give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. Give me a second. Hello, Tomboy. I'm finally in the stream, yes. Hang on. Give me a sec, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm not ready. Sorry, guys. I lost complete track of time, so I actually kind of forgot I was doing this. And, like, this always happens. just give me a second. Hello. Hello, horror fan. Hi, everyone. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta go get something. Yeah, it's Britney music. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't worry, the stream's still happening. I'm just just a little unprepared at the moment. Sorry. Um, Crud, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I gotta get a stand for my phone. Okay, guys, I'm back now. I'm very sorry. I'm still setting up. That's what happened. I'm still kind of setting up here, but I can tell a lot of people are looking forward to the story. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. I'm really so sorry about this. I had homework, so that's why I'm like out of it today. I had some homework. So she's back. Yes, I'm back. So sorry. I am so sorry to keep you guys waiting. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. I really don't. I am so sorry. Oh my god. Why is this so hard for me? What? Today's your mom's birthday? Well, happy birthday to your mom, Tomboy Girl 400. Even the dang phone is against you. Yes, today my phone is against me. Thank you. Everything's against me. I blame technology. I'm so sorry, guys. Don't worry. I promise. I promise. I'm going to start the stream and I'm gonna start the story in a minute. Just give me a second, guys. Please, just give me another sec. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. This is like the worst. This is like the worst thing that's ever. This is not my best day. It's not my best day. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, that's gonna have to do. Guys, sorry the drawing isn't colored. Homework got in the way of everything today. I blame homework! Huh? What? What'd you guys say? One time, my dang phone was against me. Yeah, my phone is always against me. I swear. And now my laptop's freaking out. Now my laptop's having a screw up. Crud. Jeez. It's just always happens. Oh my god, I wasted like 9 minutes. I am so sorry, everyone. I am literally so sorry. Dang, I'm so embarrassed. Hello, Magic Muff Wolf. You didn't miss much. You just watched my phone. All you missed was me, messing up and running a little late. LOL, every day you say you're fine, but you're not really fine. No, I'm okay. I'm just a little messed up at the moment. 'Cause, like, I'm trying to get this stream done. It's like, if my computer would just freaking work. Because that's where the story is, guys. Like, I write my stories at school. So I gotta go to my account. Okay, oh jeez. I won't be able to answer questions or read comments when I start reading the story. So if you have anything to ask me or say right now, just do it now before I have to start reading the story, because I will be paying my full attention to this. Oh, hello, Gateway Dragon. What's up? But like I said, if you have anything to ask me or say at the moment, say now before I start reading, because I will be turning my full attention to the story and not towards the camera. Okay. Okay. Oh, why am I in here? Dang it. Oh my god. Huh? They ask you how are you, and you say you're fine, but you're not really fine. We already said that. Someone already said that. Gateway Dragon, what's up? Yep. Yep. Guys, I'm really sorry I wasted 11 minutes. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I really am sorry about this. Toast. Wait, what? What? Toast? What are you talking about? Well, I can definitely say this is one of my most crazy live streams yet. Okay, where is my DJ stories? There we go. Okay, I'm in my story thing now. I'm just looking for the story. Wait. Wait, that's not it. Dang it, where the hell did I put it? Aha, there it is. Okay. Ever since the FNAF fan video, hold on. Ever since the FNAF fan video, I have worried and have been giving lots of support, and I want to do if you were better now. Oh, I'm fine, and I hope that FNAF Fan 126 is getting better too. From what I've heard, I think she's doing okay, but let's keep giving her support, guys. I want to be Tracer. I'm ready, Tracer. What's about Sans music? Huh? Okay. Okay, guys, I will not be able to answer or speak or read any more comments now because I have to start the story. Who inspired you to get into FNAF? You did, Tomboy. You remember. It was 3 years ago. You inspired me to start. Okay, guys, I'm going to start reading the story now. So, just remember though, if you have not seen part 1 yet, then please watch that before seeing this one, because you will not understand what's going on, but other than that, please enjoy this. Okay. Five Nights at Freddy's, Friend Until the End, Part 2. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Being friends with Toy Bonnie and the others was the best thing I could ever have happened to me. However, the joy did not last forever. For some reason, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed down when I turned 14. I was so upset when I had found out that all my friends were gone. However, that was all 2 years ago. I am now 16 years old, and a new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has opened, and they're looking for a night guard. I decided to apply, and they accepted. After they said I was hired, my boss told me to have a look around the place. This place was a little smaller than the first one. I went to the main room. The main room had 2 stages and a bunch of tables. On the main stage, there were 3 animatronics, a bear, a chicken, and a bunny. The other stage was more of a side stage. Standing on it was a fox. He was dressed like a pirate. However, these were not the ones I know. They were new. Like what you see? A voice said. I turned around to see my boss. Oh yeah, they're cool, I said. He walked over to me. "Let me introduce you to the crew," he said. "Okay then." Alright. The bear is Freddy Fazbear. The bunny is Bonnie. The chicken is Chica, and the fox is Foxy. He said, pointing to them as he said, pointing to them. After he told me what I had to do for my night shift job, he handed me the keys and left. I headed to my office. It had two big metal doors, a desk fan, and a tablet linked to all the cameras in the building. I sat down, grabbed the tablet, and pulled up the main camera stage. Well, the main stage camera. Then I started to panic. Bonnie and Chico were not on stage. He never said anything about them moving around. I thought to myself. Then I realized Foxy wasn't on his stage either. I turned around, and there he was. He was standing in the doorway. I slowly stood up and started to back away slowly. As soon as I did, he started to get closer. My heart was racing, and my back was against the wall. Foxy was about to strike when something happened. His head tilted to the side, and he completely collapsed to the floor. I relaxed a little at that moment. Then I looked at him. Something was wrong, and I was wanting to know what was wrong. I can't just leave him like this, I thought to myself. I went down the hall towards the backstage. I was sure there was a toolbox or something that could help me fix him. Then I saw him. It was Bonnie this time. He was standing at the end of the hall. This time I didn't back away. I tried to talk to him. "Bonnie, please, let me pass. I don't want to hurt any of you," I said, speaking in a low voice. "Why should I believe you?" He asked me with his arms crossed. "Foxy broke down in the office, and I don't know why, but I want to fix him. Please." Bonnie's eyes widened, and he uncrossed his arms. "Wait, did you say Foxy broke down?" he asked. "Yes, he did," I said. "Oh no, not again. Come on, let's go get the tools and fix him." We headed to the backstage. I grabbed the toolbox off the table and headed back towards the office. Bonnie's eyes widened again at the sight of Foxy collapsed on the floor. I put my hand on his shoulder and told him it was okay, that I was gonna fix him. He looked at me and sighed. "Okay, I trust you," he said in a low and calm voice. I kneeled down to the floor next to Foxy and started to try and fix him. It took a little while, but I was able to fix him. Foxy sat up and looked around. "What happened? And why is she still alive?" he said, pointing his hook at me with anger. "She just saved your life," Bonnie said, defending me. "Wait, what? Hold on a second. Let's see if she be telling the truth," he said. Then he froze. "What's happening?" I asked in a bit of panic. "Don't worry, he's just doing a self-check to see if you fixed him right." I looked at him and took a deep breath, and I hoped that I did. A minute later, he turned and looked at me and smiled. "You're all right, lass," he said, smiling at me. Everything seemed like it was going to be okay. But then we heard a laugh and what sounded like moaning. The three of us looked up to see Freddy standing in the doorway and Chica standing in the other doorway. I looked at Bonnie and Foxy, hoping they wouldn't turn on me too. Foxy and Bonnie stood up, and they stood in front of me to keep Freddy and Chica from getting to me. "It's okay, Captain. She'd be on our side," he said, looking at Freddy. Freddy didn't move, neither did Chica. "Foxy's right. She fixed him, Bonnie said, looking at me with a little bit of a smile. I Wait, she fixed him? Chica asked. Yes, I spoke at last. I'm sorry, but I had to do something. I couldn't leave him like that. I said, you don't need to be sorry, Vixen. I believe you. Wait, sorry, I read that too fast. You don't have to be sorry, I believe you, Freddy said. You do? I asked nervously. Yeah, that fox has broke down so many times I started to think he was gonna stay like that forever. He joked. Hey! Foxy yelled as we all laughed. So we're good? I asked. We're all good, Freddy said. Then they asked me if I would like to hang out and chat on the stage with them. I couldn't resist, so I said yes. About a half hour later, we were all hanging out and talking and having a good time, too. Then the question came up. So, why did you pick this job anyway? Freddy asked. Well, that's easy. I loved going to Freddy's when I was a kid. However, this place has changed a lot in the past 2 years, I replied. They looked at me a little confused. I think you mean the old one, Freddy said. The old one? I asked. You know, the one with the toy animatronics, Chica said. Oh, now I get it. I was really good friends with all of them. I was best friends with Toy Bonnie, I said excitedly. We were good friends then too, lass, Foxy had said. How could you have known them? I never saw any of you there, I started to say. Oh, but we were there. You know the room with the sign that said parts and services on it? Yeah, well, we were there the whole time, he said. Toy Bonnie was the only one who thought we still mattered. I smiled a little when he said that. He used to come and hang out with us almost every night, Foxy said, smiling. I miss him, I said, looking down. They all looked at me. What's your name? Bonnie asked. I'm Vixen. Vixen Silvermoon. I looked up to see them staring at me with their mouths dropped open. I can't believe it. It's you. It's really you, Freddy said, with excitement. What are you talking about? Of course it's me, I said, confused and really curious on what they were referring to. What Freddy means to say is that you were the little girl Toy Bonnie used to play with and talk to us about all the time, Bonnie said. My heart skipped a beat when he said that. He talked about me? I asked. All the time, lass. But don't worry. He only said good things about you. Honestly. Foxy had said. I smiled a little. Then that smile quickly faded. Are you okay? Chica asked me. Yeah, I'm okay, I replied, trying to hold back the tears. I miss him a lot, I said. We miss him too, lass, Foxy said, putting his hand on my shoulder. Then the clock in the hall went off. It was 6 a.m. My shift was over for the night. It's time to go. It's time for me to go. I'll be back tomorrow night. We all had said our farewells to each other for the night. And before I left, I asked them something. Do you think we could do this again and hang out and talk more about the past events of the pizzeria? They all looked at me and smiled. We would love to, Vixen. You're welcome to talk with us anytime you want, Freddy said. I walked out with a huge smile on my face that night, thinking about all the things we talked about. Over the next couple nights, we would do the same thing. We'd sit on the stage and talk about the past. It was always fun. Then one day, my boss had called me in early on one morning. I came in and he had sat me down in the main stage near the at one of the tables. He was about to tell me, then he said he had to go check on something. He said for me to he'd be right back. I sat and waited. Then I heard a voice. Psst. I looked around. Psst. I looked up over here. I looked up to turn and see towards the stage. It was Freddy and the others. "What are you doing here so early?" he whispered. "I don't know. My boss wanted to see me for some reason," I whispered back. Then my boss came in and Freddy and the others froze, as if they were lost in a photo. I turned and looked at my boss. "Did I do something wrong, sir?" I asked. He laughed. "No, Vixen, you did nothing wrong," he said. "We're just moving you to the sister location for a couple of weeks." "Oh, okay then. When do I start?" I asked, a little curious. "You start first thing tomorrow morning," he said. "Okay then," I said. That night, I talked about the other place with Freddy and the others. I asked if any of them have heard of this place. They all had said the same thing. No. This was the first time any of them had heard of this sister location place. I was a little nervous, but I didn't want to lose my job, so I went with it anyway. The next day, I headed over to the sister location. When I got there, the place didn't even look like a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It wasn't even named Freddy's. This place was named Circus Baby's Pizza World. I'm not one for circuses, more the less, but I still went inside anyway, in order to keep my job. Maybe this won't be so bad, I thought to myself. The place was underground, so I had to ride down in an elevator, which took about a minute or so. Then the elevator stopped and I had stepped out. This was unlike anything I had ever seen before. There was multiple rooms you could go to. You could get lost in this place if you're not careful, I thought to myself. Then I heard a voice. "Vixen, there you are." I turned around and looked at a man in a suit and tie. As he walked up, he walked up to me and shook my hand. "Hello, you must be the owner, right?" I asked. The one and only. My name's Rick. It's nice to meet you," I said. "Same here," he said as he smiled at me. Rick then explained what my job was and what I had to do. He told me I had to come at night and make sure the animatronics were all in proper working order. It didn't seem that hard, I told him. "I'll do it," I said with a grin. "Great." He then told me to go have a look around the place to get used to the feeling. I walked along the hall and came across two doors. One said Funtime Auditorium and the other said Ballora Gallery. I went into the Ballora Gallery first. The room had a big dance floor, and there were children dancing to the music and running around playing tag or something. There was a small stage with a ballerina animatronic on it and four saw what looked like 4 mini arenas dancing beside her. You must be Laura, I thought to myself. I then headed over to Funtime Auditorium. The room had a lot of arcade games, and on one side of the room, and on the other side of the room, had a lit up stage with colorful lights, and a bright white and pink fox with a red bow tie on it, waving to the crowd on the stage. She looks a lot like Mangle, but I knew it wasn't her. Her name was Funtime Foxy, not Mangle. Then I saw something that made my heart light up with joy and excitement. Toy Bonnie was standing on a stage right next to Funtime Foxy. I was so happy. You were here all along, I thought to myself. I stayed for the show. As the show went on, I noticed something about Toy Bonnie. His voice was stuttering as he spoke, and he didn't seem right to me. Something was wrong. I decided that he would be the very first animatronic that I fixed tonight. That night, I went back to the Funtime Auditorium. That night, I went back into the Funtime Auditorium, and when I got there, Toy Bonnie wasn't on the stage. Funtime Foxy was, but Toy Bonnie wasn't. Come to think of it, he wasn't even in the room at all. Maybe he's in the repair room, I said, softly as to not disturb Funtime Foxy. I headed back out of the Funtime Auditorium and into the repair room. When I got there, my eyes grew wide to the sight I had saw. I found Toy Bonnie sitting on the workbench with his eyes shut, and he didn't look the same either. He was covered in scratch marks, and they were all over his mechanical body. He looked like he had been hit to the floor a few times. Suddenly, he slowly woke up and looked around. Then his eyes were placed right on me. I wasn't sure what to do. I dared not to move. But then I realized something. He had a look of fear in his eyes, as if he had seen a ghost. I then realized something else. He wasn't staring at me. He was staring at the toolbox in my hand. I think he thinks I'm here to hurt him, I thought to myself. I then put the toolbox down on the floor and stepped back from it. He watched me as I did. It's okay, Toy Bonnie. I won't hurt you. I just want to help you. It's okay. He said nothing and just looked up at me. I could see he was still scared. You don't need to worry. Nothing is going to happen, I promise. You're safe. You can trust me. I'm here to help you, not hurt you. Do you trust me? I waited for a minute for an answer. He still didn't speak, but he gave me a nod, as if it was saying yes. I grabbed the toolbox slowly and walked over to him calmly. After a few minutes, I tried to make conversation with him. So, how many kids did you play with in the arcade today? I asked him, trying to make light of the silent moment. I was starting to think that something really was wrong here. I could see it in his eyes. Something was bothering him, and it looked like he wanted to tell me, but he was afraid to. Toy Bonnie, please, tell me what's wrong. I can help you. He 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 stared at me for a moment, then tried to talk, but no words came out. You can't speak? Is that what's wrong? He nodded. How did this happen? You were just fine a few hours ago. He shrugged his shoulders at me and shook his head. You don't know, do you? He nodded. Don't worry, I can fix you, I promise. He said. Well, I said. Then he did something I haven't seen in a long time. He gave me somewhat of a small smile. Okay, I'm going to fix you, but there's only one way I can do it without hurting you. He looked at me a little confused. I have to shut you down for a few minutes. His eyes widened, with a little bit of shock in them. I said slow and calm. It's okay. I'll switch you back on once I'm done repairing you. He looked at me again and nodded. Then I knew it was okay to switch him off. I did and watched. I did. As soon as I did, I turned around and looked for a new voice box for him. Hang on, guys, I lost my place. Sorry. I looked around the room. There were boxes all around the room with animatronic parts in them. One of these boxes must have parts for Toy Bonnie, I thought to myself. Luckily, I found the box with his name on it. I opened the box and looked inside, hoping to find a voice box. And I did. Then I began to try and fix him. It took a little while, but I managed to repair him. I then switched him back on and hoped that he'd be able to speak to me again. His eyes opened and he looked at me. I fixed your voice box as best I could. Let's see if you can talk. Go ahead, try to say something. He looked at me and took a deep breath, and then tried to speak. I can talk. You fixed me. Thank you very much. You're welcome, I said. The rest of the night, we stayed in the repair room and talked to each other. I didn't bring up anything from the past. I thought I would wait until he was a little more used to me. Then 6 a.m. it came around, and I had to go home. He looked at me a little sad when I was about to leave. I looked at him and said, Hey, don't worry. I'll be back tomorrow night, I promise. He smiled at me and said, kind of sad still, Okay, see you tomorrow night. The next night, I found him in the repair room again. This time, he was able to speak, but he looked like he had been thrown across the room and hit the floor a couple times more. What happened? I asked. I don't know, he said. I felt like he was hiding something, but I wasn't going to force him to tell me. I went straight to work in repairing him. I heard something come in. I turned around to see a white and orange fox. She looked like Lolbit, but her eyes were black with glowing white dots. Who are you? I had asked. Before she could answer, Toy Bonnie spoke out aloud and said, Hi, Lolbit. You know her? I asked. Yeah, we met the first week I was here, Lolbit said. Oh, okay then, I said after I had fixed up Toy Bonnie. I went to check on the rest of the building. Lilbert decided to follow me out. We went over to the circus control room to start. So, where's your stage, Lilbert? Trying to make conversation. Oh, I don't get to perform anymore, she said. I used to perform with my sister, Funtime Foxy. The owner took me out of the show, though. I don't know why. But next thing I know, I got pulled into the surveillance room instead, Lilbert said. The room went quiet for a moment. I'm so sorry that happened to you. She looked and smiled at me. It's okay. It isn't your fault. Then, after a few, then after we were done after we were done, we headed over to Funtime Auditorium. Then when we got there, I saw a terrifying sight. Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy were both beating up Toy Bonnie. I stood there in horror as he hit the ground. The sound echoed around the room and bounced to hit my ears. Then I snapped. I rushed out in front of them, keeping Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy from getting any closer to Toy Bonnie. That's enough! I shouted. Everybody went quiet. The sound of my voice echoed the walls back to hit my ears. Now, I want both of you back into your stage rooms right now, or else, I had said in a shattering, angered voice. They both looked at me as if they were not scared. Or else what? What are you gonna do about that? Funtime Freddy looked as if he was being a smart aleck. Or else I will turn your control shock level to the highest setting I could find. How do you like that? I said, staring straight at him. No! I heard a small voice say. The small bunny who had appeared on the hand of Funtime Freddy spoke out. We'll go back to our stage rooms. Just please don't turn the control shocks. Please. She asked and she pleaded with me. Good, I said in a calmer but still angry voice. I waited till they left. Then I turned around to Toy Bonnie, who was still trying to get up. Lilbert, I need your help, please. I don't think he can stand on his own, I called out. She came rushing in, and we both helped Toy Bonnie stand up, and walked him back to the parts and service room. Once we were there, I went straight to fixing Toy Bonnie, while Lilbert stood guard outside. I looked at Toy Bonnie, who was looking at me. Why are they hurting you? What's wrong? Why are they doing this? I asked, all at once. His voice shook as he spoke. They've been doing this since I got here. I don't know why, but I know this. This is all I know of what they want. Their plan is to break me down so that way I would have to go in the scooping room. And what's the scooping room? I asked. It's a room with a large machine hook for some kind of thing that can kill an animatronic in one hit. I don't want to die, he said as he looked at me with fear and tears in his eyes. I'm not going to let you die. I promise. This is not going to happen. Do you believe me? I asked. I do, he said, wiping a tear off his eye. After a few minutes, Toy Bonnie started to talk again. Thank you for helping me back there. No one has really stood up for me since I got here. You're welcome. It's what friends do for each other. It's also the same thing you did for me when I was little, I said, smiling. Then he said something that shocked me. What do you mean by when you were little? He asked. I stared. I started to think I forgot me. I started to think he forgot me. Toy Bonnie, it's me, Vixen. We used to play together when I was little at Freddy's. Don't you remember me? I held up the guitar. I held up. Sorry, guys, I lost my place again. I held my guitar-shaped charm necklace up to him. You gave me this the very first day we met. He looked at me and he looked at me, then looked at the charm necklace. His eyes grew wide. Then he grabbed the one that was around his neck and held it up. It was the exact same necklace. Vixen, it really is you. I can't believe it after all this time. It's you. You do remember me, I said as I put my arms around him. I thought you forgot me. I really thought you forgot me this time. He put his hand on the back of my head. How could I forget the sweet little girl I loved to play with the most? We both sat there and hugged each other, smiling at one another every few seconds. I was so happy to finally have my best friend back. You're a lot older than the last time I saw you. How old are you now? He asked me. I'm 16, I said. 16? Wow. You know, it's funny. And a little weird. Why is it funny and weird? You're 16 and I'm 17, he said. It was weird, but cool. I thought it was at least. After I was done fixing him, I then told him something I had never told anyone. Toy Bonnie, there's something else I wanted you to know, I said, looking nervously. He looked at me and grabbed my hand. You can tell me anything. I'll understand, he said. Okay, I was not just born human. I was born half wolf. I looked up and he looked surprised, but in a good way. Do you want to see what I mean? Only if you want me to, he said. The choice is yours. I was a little shocked by what I was hearing, but I didn't think of any less of it. He didn't think I was lying, I thought to myself. Okay, I said. Then I closed my eyes and turned into my wolf form. I opened my eyes again to look at him. His eyes were wide and his mouth dropped open. You look absolutely beautiful, he said. Thank you, I said, a little startled. I was told to never tell anyone about this. My parents had me promise in order to protect me, I said. Then why did you tell me? He asked curiously. Because I felt I can trust you. I felt I can trust you and you would keep my secret. I changed back into my human form. Then he walked over to me and held my hand again. I blushed a little. Vixen, you never have to worry. I'll never tell anyone, I promise. Your secret is safe with me. He said, he said in a calm and assuring voice. I looked at him and smiled. Then something happened that I did not see coming and was totally unexpected. Toy Bonnie leaned in and kissed me. He then pulled himself away pretty quickly, his cheeks blushing bright red. I am so sorry. I don't know why I just did that, as he said, laughing and blushing at the same time. It's okay, I said, smiling and blushing and laughing back at him. We both started laughing even more. Then I thought I had to get Toy Bonnie away from this place. I wanted him to be happy. And maybe even a little bit too if she wanted to go. I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to get you out of this place for good. I said, I said, what do you mean? He asked. I want to take you back to Freddy's. But Freddy's is gone. We can't go back. You mean the old Freddy Fazbear's. The new Freddy Fazbear's was where your old friends, he said. Do you mean Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy? He said curiously and a little bit of hope in his eyes. Yes, they're all there, and I'm sure that they would love to have you live there with them. All right then, let's go. Let's do this. He said with a huge grin on his face. We then asked Lilbit if she would want to come too. With excitement, she had said yes. Then the three of us came up with a plan. We would wait out the whole day and then leave tomorrow night. You should head home, Vixen, Toy Bonnie said, but I have to stay here until 6 a.m. Don't worry, you won't get in trouble, Lilbit added. We'll make sure they know you were here all night. Well, okay then, I said my goodbyes and gave them both a hug. And then I had left. On my way home, I'd stopped by Freddy's to tell them the good news. Hey guys, guess what? I have the best news you're ever going to hear, I shouted out. What's the news, lass? Foxy had said, rushing towards me. I found Toy Bonnie. He's okay and he's at the sister location this whole time. They all looked at me and cheered with excitement. That's wonderful news, Vixen, Bonnie said. But that's not all. They don't treat him very well there, so I was wondering if he could come and live here, he said. Can he? I asked with hope. I waited for an answer. Of course he can, Vixen. We would love to have him here, Freddy said. I gave Freddy a huge hug, thanking him repeatedly. Then I told them my plan. The next morning, I went back to Circus Baby's Pizza World and hung out in the surveillance room with Lilbit the entire day. She and I talked more about the plan to make sure everything was going according to it. Later that night, it was time to put our plan into action. I met Toy Bonnie in the repair room. Lilbit stayed in the surveillance room to keep an eye on things. We would come back for her when it was safe. Me and Toy Bonnie were on our own for the moment. Are you ready? He asked. Yes, I'm ready, I said as my little wolf ears had popped up on my head. You might want to keep your wolf ears under your hat for now. he said as he plopped my hat on my head to cover over my eyes. Okay, he said as I flipped the hat up. Then we headed out of the repair room and into the Funtime Auditorium to reach the exit. The only problem is the lights were out. As nervous as we were, we went and forged through the pitch black dark room in hopes we would find the exit without walking into it on it or without getting caught. A few seconds later, I hit a wall that felt more like a door. I looked around for some kind of handle. Yeah, sorry guys, I lost my spot. Okay. Toy Bonnie, I think I found the exit. Great. Let's go then, he said. I couldn't see if he was smiling or not, but I knew he probably was. We went and opened the door, and yet the room was pitch black again. Vixen, I don't think this is an exit, he said he said in a startled voice. Before we could turn back, the door slammed shut, and then the lights came on, beaming bright. It took us a minute to get our vision back. When we did, we then realized we were in the scooping room, and right in front of us was the scooper. Well, what do we have here? We turned around to the left to see a viewing glass, and on the opposite side of the glass was Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Ballora, and Circus Baby. Hey guys, which one do you think should go first? The night guard or the runaway rabbit? Funtime Freddy asked. The others, without an answer, he immediately aimed it at me. My heart was racing. The scooper pulled back and went straight at me. I shut my eyes and hit the floor. I opened my eyes again to see a horrifying sight. The scooper didn't hit me. It went straight through Toy Bonnie's chest. He then turned and looked at me with a look of both pride and sorrow. Vixen, I'm so sorry you had to see this. I love you, and I'm sorry this had to be this way. That was the last thing he said to me. His eyes closed at the same time the scooper ejected itself from him and he hit the floor. I put my hands over my mouth to keep me from screaming. He was gone. The room fell silent, so silent that I could hear my own cries echoing from the walls. Well, that happened unexpectedly. Funtime Freddy's voice echoed off the walls back to hit my ears. I then realized that it was his fault Toy Bonnie was dead. Something snapped in me in that moment. I changed into my wolf form, and I ran towards the viewing glass, jumped through it, knocked Funtime Freddy to the ground. How do you like being ripped apart? I shouted. Then I ripped Bon Bon right off of Funtime Freddy's hand. Bon Bon, no! All I had to do was bite down and it would be over. But then I stopped. I could see the fear in Bon Bon's eyes. They looked exactly as Toy Bonnie was before. It was I had become the monster at that moment. I realized what I was doing wrong. I was doing the same thing they did. I loosened my grip, walked over towards Funtime Freddy, and placed Bonbon on the floor. Funtime Freddy quickly scooped Bonbon up in his arm. Without looking or saying anything, I turned and ran towards the exit with tears in my eyes. I ran out the exit, into the parking lot, got into my car, and I changed back into my human form. I stepped on the gas pedal without looking back. I went straight towards Freddy's, the only place I felt that I needed to go. I was silent the whole ride there. When I got there, I found them all at the doorway, waiting for me and Toy Bonnie and Lolbit. They were a little surprised to see I was the only one there. I stepped inside and I didn't say nothing. Then it happened. Where's Toy Bonnie? Within seconds, I bursted into tears. Foxy quickly put his arms around me as I started to cry. Once I calmed down enough, I told them everything that happened. Then there was a knock at the door. I turned around. It was Lolbit. Foxy stepped in front of me and pointed his hook at her. What are you doing here, you Funtime? I stopped Foxy at that moment. Foxy, stop! That's not Funtime Foxy. That's Lolbit. It's okay. She's Toy Bonnie's friend. She's my friend too. He then put his hook down and let me and stepped aside. I turned and looked at her. She looked me straight in the eyes. Vixen, I'm so sorry. She held up the bow tie and the guitar-shaped charm necklace that we both shared. Tears flowed in my eyes again. I started to cry. Lolbit put her arms around me as I cried into her shoulder, knowing that my best friend was gone forever. End of part 2. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this crazy live stream. Sorry about how it started, but I hope you guys enjoyed the story. And don't worry, the story does not end here. There's still one part left in the story. There's one part left, and I have to write it first. So, thanks for listening and watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. The Night Wolf DJ is out. Bye, guys!